Hey everybody, Rob Gauthier, the ET Whisperer. Welcome to the YouTube channel and welcome back to the Galactic Weekly Channeling. I do apologize for 2 weeks. There was not an upload, or for 1 week there wasn't an upload, and then the second week we ended up using an Aridif meditation. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Our dear friend John Craig, who does the artwork for this channel, put that together, which was an amazing thing. We're back to the Galactic Channelings. This one's very interesting. Some things I've never heard or never seen with my time with Treb, or heard from Treb or Aridif, so it's very interesting, and I don't think I want to ruin the surprise, but this type of race I've never heard of or seen before, so it's really amazing. I hope you guys enjoy that. Also, I want to say thank you guys for supporting the channel by leaving comments, likes, and subscribing. You guys are really helping the flow of the algorithms with our channel, helping us be seen by the YouTube gods. And I did do an interview with Jeff Mara, which I have in my interviews with Rob Gauthier playlist, and also I did a Sedona video with channeling where I was teaching people how to connect to their guides, and I put that in the Learning to Channel playlist as the third video. So if you haven't seen either of those, I suggest you go check those out. Those are really great. And if you want to know what we're doing in Patreon, please feel free to check it out at the end of the video, and also go to the website and check out etwhisperer.com. We have some events, the one in March in Sedona with Daryl Anka and Wendy Kennedy and all those other great presenters, and also Conscious Life Expo, which will have a ton of great people there too. So I'm going to be at both of those. I'm also going to be in Mount Shasta in June. Great people will be there. Wendy Kennedy and Jamie Price and many more great people. This event's put together by Ruben Langdon and crew. A lot of great things coming for next year, so keep your ears out and keep your eyes open. I will share all that information on the website. Thank you guys so much for your support. I love you guys. Enjoy the Galactic Channeling. I'll see you.
Greetings to all the Aridif, that is A-R-I-D-I-F, and this is it spelled. We understand all of you desire to co-create with the Galactic Collective Consciousness more deeply, but before diving in to the co-creation, there are the two things that we wish to express. The first, above and beyond all things that are expressed in this day, to know, to feel, and to perceive that you are loved, and our perspective is of the utmost importance. Secondly, it is our greatest excitement, and within the same form of great excitement in which we co-create with all of you, not only in this moment, but through all moments of your linear time perspective. Now, of course, we wish to bring forward a race of beings that have not co-created with humans at any time period within the entire Earth Collective Consciousness, not only humans, but all entities that iterate and incarnate in the incarnation cycle of the Earth Collective Consciousness. These entities are not similar to any form of being that you hold awareness to with their physical appearances. Energetically, they may appear between what humans would perceive as a feline entity and an insectoid entity, but physically their appearance is much different. One moment we will connect you.
Greetings, hello humans, hello, greetings. It is important to start with the very first schematic of communication, and that is when I speak to you, I will speak to you of specific information that I need for you to know, and then I will require for you to listen to this first with your mind, secondly with your emotion, and thirdly with an integration of both parts. This is important because the way that we process information is different than the way that you process information, and the way that we express what is experienced internally is also an experience of sharing from a level of knowing how to receive and how to give. So we will give in an order we are not used to, but doing it for humans to receive it better. The very first part of our communication is explaining to you what we are. This being who brought our communication together said that we are different from any beings that you have communicated with. And this is true due to the nature of our height and due to the nature of our physical appearance. Our physical appearance is much different than anything that humans worked with. Our height is approximately 4.57 inches of your height, and our own physical appearance is very small. Separations between the parts of our body. Yes, we are bipedal. Yes, we have one head. Yes, 2 legs and 2 arms, but that is the only similarity. There are separations in each function and each appendage that creates different function. For example, our 2 arms have more than 35 ends or fingers, as humans would call them. Our feet have over 27 per leg unit, and these are not feet, they are separate appendages that work independently. Our head has no orifices, only the bulging discs around the center head region, which are our indicators for external stimulation. These would be similar to your insectoid eyes, or similar to beings in insectoid family and arachnid families, where there are just 2 bulging discs with reflective nature that process information and bring through information, but it isn't just information of a visual cortex as human eyes would work. It is more that all senses come through, and our senses are similar to yours. Sight is one, smell is another, touch is another, feel is another, psychic and nature is another, and all of these come through the sensory areas that are our organs externally, and these organs are similar to insectoid eyes. Now, there are disc functioning within these eyes that replicate specific models of light being reflected, refracted, rebuilt, and programmed into images, smells, touch, hears, and psychic awarenesses, and all of those are transmitted directly to the consciousness. And once that's done inside of our own consciousness, we're able to understand how the world around us works, and we have fine-tuned this for over 38,000 years from our first recorded understanding. Our history was much longer than that. There were several millions of years where we existed as a lesser form. The adapting eyes, for the lacking other words to use for description, these only developed within the lattice time. Before that, we were able to observe only by being present, and several internal indicators inside of our body that pick up vibration around. We're able to translate some of those. So this works in alignment, in attunement, and with the eyes, and those eyes and internal vibrational frequency receivers work together collectively in order to give us a supreme sense of everything now. Now, this is just one of our functions, but if you were to look at the coloration of our entire body, it would be brown, black, and a very deep gray color, gray that is near black. And this is the only feature. There are several hundreds of stagnations inside of our external body, as nothing changes from the time we are born until the time we leave our bodies, which are several hundred years. Our body remains the same. There is no shifting or changing. There are also separations, dozens of separations between the areas that are solid in the arm and leg appendages, even before those parts break out. They're not separate as in separate moving pieces, but separated by design. If if you saw, you may see 12 to 18 different parts of that arm, but they all work as one unit. They are tied together. You might think of roots in a tree that are wrapped around each other, but function for one purpose. That is very similar to us. Now that we have given you a physical description, let us give you a societal description. Our race is not communicative as human beings are trying to do now, or Denebian beings who bring information forward, or Yit beings who are by nature social and communicative. We, in fact, only exist, and we find beings with our extrasensory abilities, and once we find those beings, we're able to use an investigatory system, and that investigatory system is in several parts. The very first part is the identity through investigative nature of the soul expression and how that soul expression works in the physical form. So, for example, with humans, you were primordial beings, changed to reptilian humanoid primordial beings, then changed again several times until you created the humanoid being with primordial tendencies and reptilian minds and energies, and this created the expression of your physical self, but it also brought about soul experiences that were brought through a certain lens of understanding, and that understanding got a great deal of information to flow through you and shape the way that you perceived reality, shaped the way your beliefs perceived reality, and then shaped the way that you express your consciousness through your physical body. That is fascinating to our races. We have never come across any combination of this like. Now, we have seen many beings that were registered in connecting with multiple different types of hybridizations, which created different and crazy mixtures of things that many beings would not perceive, and that came out in solidity with similar purposes to the individual and tied together into one, unlike humans who are so different from all of the beings that they have, but still borrowing heavily on the independent parts of their ancestors, which is also fascinating. Now, we take this knowledge and we understand and see how we investigate and how we perceive each race, and then we decide as a collective, do we make contact with these beings or not? Most of the time, when other races scan our own planet, they do not believe complex life lives there. We have no technology. We have no electromagnetic technology. All we have is our consciousness. So instead of seeing a planet with highly evolved beings that exist in a mediocre amount and number, they would instead perceive that there are trillions of not very bright or not very evolved beings, because the life force frequency would read as such. So, due to how small we are in physical sense compared to most of the other races who are giants to us, then they can't perceive us as complex life, and this is also fascinating how we have stayed undetected for so long. The insight of this Denebian being who first found us merely years ago was able to notice us immediately. He said that he didn't read through technology. He read through the consciousness flow and saw evolved consciousness. And that evolved consciousness was able to work with his until the connection was made. Once we researched his own race, we knew them to be more benevolent and also knew them to be beneficial, because they would give us insight on things that our own race hasn't found or known and can learn from. So we took this offer very seriously and started working with him. Now, there's one race that knows about us. Now, thousands of races have met us but don't know where we're from. This is the first time being found on our own planet. Now, our own planet exists in a very different place than most of the human beings would think. There are solar systems that you see inside of your sky as stars, and those solar systems having planets, and those planets having satellites that orbit this, but very rarely can humans find a floating star that is not attached to any other system with planets and has no planets around. And some planets are also rogue planets, which exist outside of the normalcy of normal solar systems and had been ejected in one fashion or another in some way, and some way, and that way is different for each. But very few times only have humans been able to comprehend or perceive the possibility of this happening, and on only rare occasions from our investigation have they found an individual planet without a star. But if I were to tell you that the star we once were connected to came from the Aquarius constellation and doesn't exist there anymore because it was part of a dual star system, and that star was thrown off course, and through that experience then the planet was thrown off course, and when that planet was thrown off course we were alone with no star. And this is a very unique way of experiencing it. Right now, we are over 13,800 light years from you. With your technology, never would you find us, and never do most beings find us, because they intend to find stars before they find planets, as the rule of thumb in this galaxy is that the majority of planets go around stars. So there you have who we are, what we appear, how we consider, all of the races that we communicate with, and geolocationally is the incorrect word, but the only word this human mind of English could find that would be appropriate to share with you. Now we share with you other things. We want to share with you our own perspective of humans. How unique is it that this race of beings that come from military war races of reptilian beings, pretentious and upright humanoid races that care much for others, but only in a selfish way, and also primordial beings, which are animalistic at best, and were able to come with such complex reasonings, thoughts, beliefs, and ideas that create even harder hesitation for them. We find this so fascinating and so unique that even the warring parts of you that are made clear through your efforts of fighting one another all of the time, this is understood, and pretentiousness, feeling better than others through different social means, is found also, and also having an animalistic side, an extremely high sexual nature, an extremely high violence nature as primordial beings. All of these things are incorporated, yet you do not behave like any of them individually. You do not act like an amalgamation of those, yet you are so different from all of the other races. It is very, very interesting. So these are the insights that we had for you, and we wish that we could speak more, but time is limited, so we disconnect and tell you that in our own observation of you, we find it to be very interesting. And because you have never met beings like us, we hope you find the value of similar interest.
In our Patreon who help support me have the free time to do the extra channeling here. If you're interested, go to ET Whisper Patreon, which is patreon.com/ETWhisper. $22 a month, you get access to 2 different channelings per month. One where everyone sends in ideas, we put it in a poll and vote for it. The second is a Q&A. Everyone sends in their questions and their desire of Aridif or Treb answering it, and then we ask the questions, and then we go through them randomly, and whoever's questions get picked goes there. So if you want to be a part of that to get access to that extra stuff, and you want to help support us get more content out on YouTube, the link is in the description. Love you guys. Thank you guys for your support, and I'll see you on the other side.